Da, bună ziua, doamnelor și domnilor. Am revenit cu o sesiune cel puțin la fel de interesantă, tot despre trenduri și tehnologie. L-avem alături de noi pe domnul Răzvan Butucaru, partener pentru Financial Services and Advisory în cadrul Mazars. Mulțumim încă o dată Mazars pentru că de câțiva ani, cred, sunteți alături de CIO Council și mulțumim foarte mult. Răzvan, cred că vei povesti despre Artificial Intelligence și despre cum o putem folosi sau cum vede executivii acest trend în tehnologie?
Bună, Hugo! Da, voi vorbi despre inteligența artificială și voi trece un pic în engleză. Știu că aveți o prezență internațională mare și...
Sigur.
Okay, so good afternoon,
The floor is yours.
Thank you, Hugo. It's nice being here after, and once again, to be honest. And as you mentioned, we have been long-time partners of the event. CIO conference becoming one of the landmarks of its type in the Romanian market, and I congratulate the organizers. The topic for today, just a second to share the presentation. It will be about artificial intelligence, but not only. So basically, artificial intelligence, as Horia said, is not something like seeing robots on the street, but more of an array of applications which try to mimic to a very extent the human behavior. Face recognition. It was something different, data analytics, machine learning. Something that Horia said previously, and there are kind of very thin lines between what we understand, at least currently, by artificial intelligence. My presentation will touch several topics. First of all, it will be some technologies that we have highlighted according to our surveys or discussions with clients of being game-changing technologies during the last decade, we can say. How we can use this artificial intelligence, and basically how organizations see currently the artificial intelligence. And this is based on a study that Mazars has done worldwide. And I'm going to close by highlighting some of the trends which I consider important for the future. So in terms of game-changing technologies, what we identified as being 5 important technologies during the last period, it would be ERP, which everybody knows, and which again is here for a long time. We have artificial intelligence, something we can say new, growing, and as we're going to see, with a lot of potential. We have, of course, the Internet of Things. We have blockchain and robotic process automation. Each of these technologies, for each of these technologies, the organizations have seen the advantages in implementing them. And I'm going to refer to the next slide, which presents basically the benefits of each of these technologies, according to a study that Mazars has done 2019, 2 years ago. It's kind of important because here we see, for example, artificial intelligence listed having as benefits of cost saving with 30%. We see RPA with 31%. We see, blockchain in terms of improvement of quality, similar to ERP. However, we don't see, for example, artificial intelligence of having an impact in business model transformation. Again, maybe we're going to correlate this going forward in our presentation to see whether during this period and during, to a similar sample of companies or organizations, the perception has changed. The technologies have been implemented and have been used in various industries. Of course, the Internet of Things is everywhere. We have, these technologies implemented by banks, financial services companies, telecommunications, hospitalities, healthcare, car manufacturers. I think we find them everywhere. Some of them are, I think, the world is inconceivable without them, like ERP and Internet of Things. However, artificial intelligence is something new. It's something which has a lot of definitions, as my previous speakers have said. It's often linked to digitalization, which is very important, a topic which was also touched during today. It has various ways of being used, various ways of being seen. So let's see how ready are the companies and how for the artificial intelligence, and how do they see this in the current pandemic context. And Mazars has done a study, a survey in September, November 2020 among senior business leaders, chief executive, chief financial officers, CIOs, and for a broad range of organizations, from publicly listed companies to privately owned companies, going back to governmental agencies and non-profit organizations. General idea is that during this pandemic period, there was a rise in the adoption of artificial intelligence and innovation, which is kind of clear. It's kind of, is driven by the fact that not being able to engage physically, having to work remotely, technology played a significant role. And we can say that played a significant role in limiting the effects of this pandemic and basically restarting the economy, because there have been also industries during this period which progressed and did quite well, and I think technology helped all of us in overcoming it much more easier. So according to our study, 73% of the organizations are planning or are currently using the artificial intelligence in the operations within the next 12 months. So we've seen a growing interest. 73% is quite a large number, and 54% of our respondents claiming it is already accelerated the adoptions following the current pandemic crisis. In terms of opportunities, why we should have in consideration this technology, most of the respondents, close to 76%, they listed increased efficiency and productivity. With another great number considering reduced costs or improved customer relationships and revenue growth to a significant extent, more than 50% of the respondents. So these are the areas where the organizations see the potential of artificial intelligence. And something which it's interesting is that they see this in the disruptive business model innovation. So 33% of our respondents in 2020, they see artificial intelligence as having opportunities in transforming their business, which is kind of different compared to, if you remember the first slide, to a previous study, older study, where there was not such a clarity in whether artificial intelligence can help on transforming the business. Well, now it is, and it's kind of growing, and I believe it will further grow. And in my view, it will become, one of the main areas of applying the technology. In terms of broader areas, so where we can use artificial intelligence, on the first place we see customer services, 49%, which is kind of interesting and very important. Reflects the use of all the range of chatbots, all kind of advanced technologies for customer relationship management, which grew quite significantly during the last years. We see operations, back office operations, 45%. Of course, data management, finance and accounting, and risk management coming with 35% of opportunities of areas where the artificial intelligence can be of use. In terms of the impact of artificial intelligence on the organization, 76% of our respondents, they have agreed that artificial intelligence will create a significant ethical and cultural change within the firm. And this will be driven mostly by two areas, meaning data and people, where the impact will be most significant. In terms of barriers of entry, lack of skills is seated most of the times on the first row. So it's close to 74% of the respondents. They say that the lack of skills prevent in adopting faster the technologies. Lack of understanding as well comes on second place. Poor data or IT infrastructure, which is a topic addressed earlier during this CIO conference. Again, something which is to have in mind. Unclear business values or ethical considerations are also one of the barriers which have been mentioned by our respondents. And all of this, they go back basically to the board, to the ones who give a direction in an organization. The good thing is that 76% of the respondents, they agree that the board and management believe that the organization will encounter strategic risk and poor performance if they don't implement or integrate artificial intelligence in the business operation, which is good. And 72% of the respondents, they say that the boards will approve future development plans of implementing this technology. So it's good, it's awareness, there is awareness of the technology. Now, in terms of preparedness of the boards, of the executive management who is who has to do this transformation, basically here, there is an area of improvement. 53% of the respondents saying that the board are not sufficiently skilled and knowledgeable about the technology and or the implications on their business, on their industry or their business model. So this is quite important and is tied to the previous slide where we listed lack of knowledge of one of the main barriers of entry for artificial intelligence. Also, in terms of whether the board or the senior manager has assessed the skills and training required for artificial intelligence within the organizations, again, here the rating is not very well. 44% of the respondents claiming they have not. And also a similar percentage saying that the board, again, they still need to catch up with the development, with the relevant legislation that could impact this in a company. So I guess the main thing is that from our survey is that artificial intelligence will change culture, will change ethics in a company, will have a deep impact in the business model, and this has to be taken on board by the executive manager and by the boards in closing the gap in understanding more the technologies, as it's clear that they understand the risks, but there is still a gap in catching up with the latest technologies. In terms of industry, some of the industries which have already implemented or taking the lead in this on this road, we can mention the fintech, financial services, the banking industry, which are on the forefront. It's estimated according to some sources that the market of fintechs will grow 20% over the next 4 years. And we are talking already about mobile-only banks. People who don't even know, where the bank is. It's online payment industries, payment online. So it's kind of the world is changing, and traditional banks need to keep up with this to accelerate the digital offer and to engage more with the customer. Another sector which we have identified and which we have, I believe, have engaged quite significantly and are open to implement artificial intelligence is the hospitality sector, in terms of creating virtual reality rooms, smart rooms, customized entertainment, designing venues, accommodations for the clients, based on their analyzing their data, their preferences. It's something which is already happening. And the luxury industry, which maybe it would not be one of the first listed sectors where this would be implemented, but still they are also considering this, and they are, we can say, at the forefront. They have with their the luxury industry, with their clients, which are very sensitive to everything that is new. And we have some good names, names which are known by every artificial intelligence, and they are using it in various forms, as I mentioned, in trying to better service their customers and to better position themselves in the market. We are talking about Gucci, Prada, Hublot, which they have opened either some concept stores where we can have a very nice virtual rooms picturing the clothes or designing, finding availability of the clothes immediately based on your identification, making customers product from remote. So this is already happening, and probably it will give a competitive edge to the company taking it on board. In terms of what next, so main trends, as I can see going forward, would be that the companies will continue the momentum which has been created by the pandemic situation. So it is something that boosted technology. It will continue to do so. So it's one of the areas where I think this will continue. Customer experience will take the center stage. As we have seen in the survey, customer service is at the center of the areas where artificial intelligence is most used, where it's designed to be most used, is wanted to be most used. Of course, taking leverage of external data to outperform competitors. Data analytics, machine learning. It was already, it was mentioned already during the previous debates. It's something which will give the cutting edge and still very important. And of course, the last but not the least, I think the CIOs will have to lead the change towards a data-driven culture, because we have seen that there is still a lack of knowledge at the level of senior executives, at the board members. So I guess it's the duty of any CIO, data officer, data scientists in an organization to promote these technologies, to close the gap between, creating awareness, closing the gap of knowledge, to better serve, the purpose of the organizations. So I hope I made it quite in time. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to take them.
Thank you very much, Răzvan. I have to admit that it's a very good presentation and a very good material. There are a lot of numbers that needs to be digested. I hope the guys from the press are ready to make some materials in this respect. But there was a clear there are some consideration. I saw 73% of the companies are already using or are planning to using the artificial intelligence, which is a very good sign, in my opinion, related to the adoption of the AI. But there was something that raised a little bit my attention, and you said there are 76% that put a question related to the potential ethical issues. And can you please elaborate a little bit regarding what kind of ethical issues could be provoked by artificial intelligence in a company or in society in general?
Yeah, well, I think these ethical concerns, I think they are very tied to the data analytics, because artificial intelligence means working with data which is in many ways very confidential, goes beyond that, goes to the preferences of the customers, customer service main area goes directly with customer preferences. So it is an ethical change, and if we are going to implement this has to be taken into consideration, because you need to have to understand it first, but use it, but also keep the privacy, keep the rights at their place, so don't go beyond something which is not fair, don't go beyond something which a customer doesn't want, which, to be honest, still there is something yet to be considered by many organizations, and I think we all know faced various situations when this boundaries is not very clear. But however, they need to be clear, and if we are to implement artificial intelligence, and I think we all agree we need to have it, it's not, this technology is moving, this ethical impact in any form is already here and needs to be considered. You know, it's kind of I think one of the most important things.
Yep.
It gives in the end it leaves you naked if you want. Technology leaves you naked if they want.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you very much, Răzvan. Very much appreciated. We have a lot of lessons to learn from your material, so I hope it will be shared to everybody, or I hope it is public at least. Now it's public anyway.
Yes, now it's public. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Răzvan, and thank you very much, Mazars, for your supporting us. Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.